For more than 30 years, Main Street programs have been working to put new energy into neighborhood commercial centers. More recently, the program for Grove Hall has been focused on growth through innovation, and that's the heart of its upcoming awards reception and fundraiser on September 21st, when the featured speaker will be the chairman and CEO of Suffolk Construction Company, John Fish. To tell us about the event is the executive director of Grove Hall Main Streets, Ed Gaskin. Thank you very much for being with us, Ed.
Yes, sir.
John Fish, he runs a construction company, a little bit notorious because of the Boston 2024 proposal, but he owns a business based in Roxbury, too.
Well, it's notorious, but I think if you look at it a different way, he almost like single-handedly brought the Olympics to Boston, right? So in terms of your own wherewithal and resources. And had he succeeded in terms of the city of Reed, that would have fundamentally changed the landscape in Boston. So it's just like what the mayor has recently did, the Imagine Boston 2030 strategic plan. That would have been the strategic plan had we gone through with it. I think it was almost like $1 billion of infrastructure and all kinds of things. So then you ask yourself, well, somebody that has that kind of vision and wherewithal, what would happen if you teamed up with them to try to bring development to Grove Hall or Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan in a different way that hadn't been done before?
Well, what about some of the potential things, especially things that could benefit people who live around Grove Hall, if not the commercial center itself?
Well, I mean, the part of the issue is this: when you're talking about development, who's doing it? So for whose benefit? And by whom? So historically, the reason why we've had a problem with any of the issues in development in terms of, is it labor, is it union, what contract, minority contractors, so who's doing the actual development and who benefits? Do the residents benefit? A lot of times they're against the development, they feel that the streets are crowded or more density or whatever. And so really, how do you rethink development so that it's win-win for everybody in the community?
Chris, another thing that's going on is that we have new potential of being opened up by the Fairmount corridor, and I guess the change in manufacturing now. I mean, we're talking about smart manufacturing.
Yes, small manufacturing, urban manufacturing, micro manufacturing. You'll hear a lot of those terms, and we're very interested in that. And primarily it's because just as everything else has changed, manufacturing has changed. So you don't need a giant field in a manufacturing plant. You can actually do this kind of manufacturing in a much smaller footprint. And the other thing is the actual thing of education has changed. So instead of sending somebody to school for 4 years or X number of years or vocational school, you can actually train people on very specific technologies that they would use in some of these manufacturing settings, like fabrication being one of them. And so maybe in weeks or months, they could do a job that might pay, $20, $30, $40 an hour as opposed to what they might do in a minimum wage. And so one of the things that we're very interested in exploring is how do we bring more of those urban manufacturing opportunities into the city where you have a large number of people who are either unemployed or underemployed.
Of course, one of the other things that some of us have puzzled about for years, actually, is why there isn't more of a ripple effect into the local economy from the Franklin Park Zoo.
Well, that is a good question. So the Franklin Park, the whole thing, the zoo, the golf course, and the park itself, gets about 1 million visits a year. So that could be one person who's walking their dog every day or one person who's jogging every day. So they don't count those as separate things. That's the total number of visits. But the main thing is you have this economic driver in the city, and it doesn't necessarily benefit the businesses that are peripherally related to it. And so we've tried to actually talk with the zoo, and in fact part of the strategic plan that the city has developed, we've talked about ways that maybe we can have a closer relationship between the businesses and the zoo, the golf course, and the park.
Because one of the other things that's recently happened in Grove Hall is that there's a new location for Freedom House. Not a very big move, but to go by now and see that on a main street on Warren Street, doesn't that give the district a bit of a lift?
I was just there for the ribbon cutting on Saturday, and that was fantastic. I have to give my shout out to Katrina Shaw. She's done an excellent job as the CEO of Freedom House. The ribbon cutting was great. But what's happening is you're seeing all of the all the development in their area is improved, right? So you had the library, the old Grove Hall Library there for a long time. Freedom House was able to move there, and then able to renovate that. And that was just a win all the way around because you had Janney Construction Company, another local minority construction firm that did a development on it. And it opens up community space. So if you think about it, within the last couple of years, we've had ABCD at the Thelma Burns building has been completely renovated. It is now available for public use. The Freedom House, I think they have some things there. And so you have places to hold like more meetings and functions and stuff of quality right in the neighborhood.
This is BNN News, and we're talking with Ed Gaskin from Grove Hall Main Street. So, Ed, tell us a little bit about this event, because this is going to be happening at the zoo on the 21st, right?
That is correct. So once a year, we have our annual awards reception where we try to recognize a few local businesses or people that have made a difference in the community. And so we have a hair salon that's been there for over 50 years, and we're recognizing Evelyn Johnson for her contributions. We have this Dominican woman, Mary Leaney, who has come there and just taken off like gangbusters, and we want to sort of recognize her entrepreneurial spirit. We're recognizing Alan Edwards, who did the formal wear. He's been there also for 50 years in the community. And then we're recognizing Ayanna Presley, the city councilor, and we're recognizing Pat Hoy, a city employee in the Boston Transportation Department. And we're recognizing him for a number of the initiatives that he's helped to implement in the Grove Hall area.
Well, if anybody would like more details or your ticket to the event, there's a way they can get in touch.
They can call me. I'll give them my number. It's 617-460-2326, or they can buy a ticket at the door.